A costume designer is a person who is a storyteller, an observer of life, an observer of people, a researcher, an anthropologist, just someone who likes to dig into character and what makes people make the choices that they do. My process kind of happens when I'm first told about the script, when a director or producer or someone calls and says, hey, guess what? I have this film and I want to tell you about it. And then I sit down with the script and I go on that journey that I've been told about, whether it's the life of Malcolm X or Tina Turner's life story. For something like the Black Panther, the research goes back to Africa, which is a vast resource of creative ideas and inspirations.
Queen Mother.
When the queen is on the landing pad, everybody knows it's the queen based on what she's got on. Even though in the comics, Ramonda kind of was like barefoot all the time in yoga pants and a turban, but I just kind of wanted Angela Bassett, because it was Angela too, and I think we all did, to have a bit more of a presence. My favorite costume was the Dora Milaje. It's the most recent too. I just feel like it had so much story built in. They have a tabard that runs down the front of their costume, and for the longest time I would look at that sketch and I kept thinking, if they're going to have a tabard that they wear in the front of their costume, it has to have a meaning. It has to look almost like a samurai costume where, beads are old and it's handed down, and Adora could train her daughter and give her uniform. I really wanted this warrior woman costume to convey so much strength and also so much beauty. So I was very conscious of how it fit, how the lines moved around the body. We put a panther buckle on the front of it, so it reminded us that they were loyal and protective of the king. And I also put some good luck charms on the tabard. Things like that I felt like made that costume really come alive. I had shoppers in Africa, South Africa, and Ghana, and I had them looking for original pieces because I wanted the original pieces to inspire me as well, and not something that was a derivative of the original pieces. Because I really wanted to see what the real neck rings look like, and the weight of them, and the tarnishing or the color, what happens to those rings. I really wanted to see what, the Maasai beading was like. And the himba color, the women who wear the beautiful red. I really wanted to see what that tone of red was. I was well into Black Panther before I had ever been to an Afropunk festival or anything. It was no different than any of the Afrofusion that we have been doing in the 80s in Brooklyn or at any point. It was an influence in that I was constantly being told about it, that I needed to check it out. And once I did, I saw the most incredible images of, art, makeup and hair and design and incredible saturated color, beautiful skin tones. And I think it bled into not only Afropunk, but just Afrofuture. Afrofuture to me is a person who takes on the responsibility of their own future and contribution to their culture. So anybody can be in their Afrofuture. When we were on the set of Do the Right Thing, that I was witnessing Spike Lee embody his Afrofuture because he was conscious of how he presented his films and what messages he was sending out. He was in his own Afrofuture. Same with Ava DuVernay on the set of Selma. I feel like when I saw her look through the lens and knowing the journey that she'd been on from a publicist to a director and being so strong and being a woman behind the lens and doing a film like Selma, I felt like I was witnessing someone realizing their Afrofuture.